In this video we are going to solve Personnel Management and Industrial Relations subjective question asked by AKU in 2015 8th SAME exam. These are question. Let us solve these questions. Question number 2. Explain the importance of personnel management. Answer. Personnel management is the planning, organizing, compensation, integration, and maintenance of people to contribute to organizational, individual and societal goals. Personnel management is important for avoiding the following consequences. 1. To hire the wrong person in the job. 2. To experience high turnover. 3. To find your people not doing their best. 4. To waste time with useless interviews. 5. To have some of one's employees think their salaries are unfair and inequitable relative to others in the organization. 6. To allow a lack of training to undermine one's department's effectiveness. 7. To commit any unfair labor practices. The acquisition of skilled, talented and motivated employees is an important part of personnel management. The acquisition phase involves recruiting, screening, selecting and placing personnel. Retaining competent individuals is also important to an organization. If qualified individuals regularly leave a company, it becomes necessary to continuously seek new personnel, which costs money and time. The opposite of retention is, of course, termination, an unpleasant part of any manager's job. Occasionally, some employees must be terminated for breaking rules, failing to perform adequately or job cutbacks. Developing human resources involves training, educating, appraising and preparing personnel for present or future jobs. These activities are important for the material and psychological growth of employees. It is not possible to satisfy the need for personnel in an organization if it does not have an active employee development program. For utilizing the full potential of manpower, there is need to understand both individual and organizational needs. It is also necessary to match two things: availability of different types of manpower, overtime and organizational needs for such manpower. Personnel management is normally regarded as a staff function whose role is to serve the organization and help it achieve its objectives. Question number 3. What is manpower planning? Explain the concept of manpower planning. Answer. Manpower planning, which is also called as human resource planning, consists of putting right number of people, right kind of people at the right place, right time, doing the right things for which they are suited for the achievement of goals of the organization. Human resource planning has got an important place in the arena of industrialization. Human resource planning has to be a systems approach and is carried out in a set procedure. The procedure is as follows. 1. Analyzing the current manpower inventory. 2. Making future manpower forecasts. 3. Developing employment programs. 4. Design training programs analyzing the current manpower inventory before a manager makes forecast of future manpower. The current manpower status has to be analyzed. For this, the following things have to be noted. 1. Type of organization. 2. Number of departments. 3. Number and quantity of such departments. 4. Employees in these work units. Once these factors are registered by a manager, he goes for the future forecasting. Making future manpower forecasts. Once the factors affecting the future manpower forecasts are known, planning can be done for the future manpower requirements in several work units. The manpower forecasting techniques commonly employed by the organizations are as follows. 1. Expert forecasts. This includes informal decisions, formal expert surveys and Delphi technique. 2. Trend analysis. Manpower needs can be projected through extrapolation, projecting past trends, indexation, using base year as basis, and statistical analysis, central tendency measure. 3. Workload analysis. It is dependent upon the nature of workload in a department, in a branch or in a division. 4. Workforce analysis. Whenever production and time period has to be analyzed, due allowances have to be made for getting net manpower requirements. 5. Other methods. Several mathematical models, with the aid of computers, are used to forecast manpower needs, like budget and planning analysis, regression, new venture analysis. Developing employment programs once the current inventory is compared with future forecasts. The employment programs can be framed and developed accordingly, which will include recruitment, selection procedures and placement plans. Design training programs. These will be based upon extent of diversification, expansion plans, development programs, etc. Training programs depend upon the extent of improvement in technology and advancement to take place. It is also done to improve upon the skills, capabilities, knowledge of the workers. Key to managerial functions. The 4 managerial functions, i.e., planning, organizing, directing and controlling, are based upon the manpower. Human resources help in the implementation of all these managerial activities. Therefore, staffing becomes a key to all managerial functions. Efficient utilization, efficient management of personnel becomes an important function in the industrialization world of today. Setting of large-scale enterprises require management of large-scale manpower. It can be effectively done through staffing function. Motivation. Staffing function not only includes putting right men on right job, but it also comprises of motivational programs, i.e., incentive plans to be framed for further participation and employment of employees in a concern. Therefore, all types of incentive plans becomes an integral part of staffing function. Better human relations. A concern can stabilize itself if human relations develop and are strong. Human relations become strong through effective control, clear communication, effective supervision and leadership in a concern. Staffing function also looks after training and development of the workforce, which leads to cooperation and better human relations. Higher productivity. Productivity level increases when resources are utilized in best possible manner. Higher productivity is a result of minimum wastage of time, money, efforts and energies. This is possible through the staffing and its related activities, performance appraisal, training and development. Remuneration. Need of manpower planning. Manpower planning is a two-phased process because manpower planning not only analyzes the current human resources but also makes manpower forecasts and thereby draw employment programs. Manpower planning is advantageous to firm in following manner. Shortages and surpluses can be identified so that quick action can be taken wherever required. All the recruitment and selection programs are based on manpower planning. It also helps to reduce the labor cost as excess staff can be identified and thereby overstaffing can be avoided. It also helps to identify the available talents in a concern and accordingly training programs can be chalked out to develop those talents. It helps in growth and diversification of business. Through manpower planning, human resources can be readily available and they can be utilized in best manner. It helps the organization to realize the importance of manpower management, which ultimately helps in the stability of a concern. Question number 4. What are the various methods of training? Answer. 1. Case study. The case study is a proven method for training and is known to effectively boost learner motivation. However, when learners lack access to the resources necessary to completing a case study, or if the project becomes a challenge, their motivation and learning will be hindered. This method is suitable for situations when the trainees have the core knowledge but can still benefit from training. Because this method comes with lower costs. It's also one of the more popular methods in different disciplines like law, counseling, and medicine. 2. Games-based training. Games have been used for many educational purposes, including training. Using games for education is affordable, competitive, and motivational, especially in the digital era, in which many applicants and employees are highly involved with technology. One of the disadvantages of this method is the inability to determine the components in a game that will contribute to the training itself. Trainers can't really make sure that every learning concept will be accepted by the trainees through game playing. Still, game-based training teaches students to compete in environments like business, sports, or law. 3. Internship. Internships are great for both sides. Employers can benefit from the help of employees, while employees can benefit from the guidance of and training by employers. Still, in some cases, this can be high-pressured or inconsistent. However, in situations and environments where the learners have some base knowledge and the employers are supportive and understanding, this is an excellent training method. 4. Job rotation. Job rotation can do a lot in terms of employee motivation and commitment. This method gives people chances to further develop and work toward a promotion and engenders satisfaction and cooperation. Still, for introverts, this is often a big challenge because of the fear that they might fail in front of others. Also, it's a method that requires a lot of time and room for error. But with the right background knowledge, both of these problems can be eliminated or at least reduced. 5. Job shadowing. Job shadowing serves to generate employees' engagement and interest. Trainees get a chance to see their work from another perspective, which is perfect for those who are being considered for a promotion or a role change. 6. Lecture. Lectures are often dreaded and ridiculed, but they are the most commonly used training techniques. Yes, there is often a lack of interaction. But with the right speaker and simple lectures, this can lead to optimal learning. 7. Mentoring and apprenticeship. When companies plan to groom people for promotion and growth, this is the best training method to use. Trainees can truly benefit from such a personalized learning structure, boost the mentor-trainee relationship, and facilitate their future career. 8. Programmed instruction. Programmed instruction doesn't work without self-discipline, so it is most effective in cases when some straying from the program isn't detrimental to the company's success. Even so, this is an effective and flexible practice. 9. Role modeling. This is the counterpart of the lecture training method, one that promotes practice on lifelike models. It's often used in cases when employees need some practice after they see a lecture or a demonstration. 10. Role play. With role playing, trainees can practice what they've learned in a personalized and simulated situation. They can still fail, but with good content and safe role playing, there won't be any serious consequences. 11. Simulation. Simulation becomes more affordable every day. As such, it's commonly used for training that is considered costly or dangerous if performed in a real environment. This is a safe way to practice what would otherwise be risky. 12. Stimulus-based training. Stimulus-based training is a bit unconventional, but it's becoming more popular as time passes. It's a widely applied method that might make trainees a bit uncomfortable but can also enable them to acquire thorough knowledge faster than the other methods of training described here. 13. Team training. Team training has a big and important goal: to connect a team. As such, it doesn't focus on trainees as individuals like the previously discussed methods. Rather, this method is used to connect team members and make them more engaged in their training and work. The bottom line, according to the study, these types of training methods do not make a full list, but they are the general methods that might be divided into subcategories. As such, each is worth exploring and considering when an organization or trainer wishes to properly prepare an individual or a team to work at the chosen position. The study also discusses the situations and environments where each of the 13 methods would be effective. If the training isn't performed as it should, it won't be effective and might only create negative results. On the other hand, if everything goes as the research suggests, training can be the greatest tool for the success of an organization.